It's the afterlaugh, afterlaugh. Welcome to the afterlaugh, afterlaugh, afterlaugh. Afterlaugh, man. Go ahead, pull up a chair.
Hey everyone, it's Bill Dawes, and welcome to the Afterlaugh. I'm here with my friend Trisha Paytas. How are you, Trisha?
Hi, are we friends?
You know what's so funny? I always ask people that. In the beginning, I go, we're friends, right? Because sometimes I feel subconscious. And I guess we're friends. Can we be friends?
We're not friends.
Well, I mean, define friends.
Well,
We're
yeah,
friends.
you define. How are we friends? I saw you once 2 years ago.
Well, we're friends in the fact that you're here, and you agreed to do this, and you have about 50 million times more followers than I do.
Yeah.
So
I just really like stand-up, so I was like, okay. I used to be a stand-up groupie back in the day, so I'm like a fan. I mean, I have a boyfriend now, but I'm a huge stand-up groupie. So like even like loser comedians, I still stand. Not that you're a loser comedian.
Thank you so much. I really feel flattered.
Not that it's you.
Good start to a podcast.
But like we were just talking about Jay Davis over there, and I was like, oh my God, I remember him from MySpace, and
Yeah.
he didn't blow up or anything, but I still stand him. I'm like, yeah, good job, Jay Davis.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He's booking Laugh Factory, and he has 2 shows here. He's doing great. Yeah.
That's sick. Wow.
You know, it's funny because you talked about stand-up. One of the reasons I wanted you here, other than to say hi, and because we're friends,
We're
is
not
because
friends.
okay, come on, let's be friends, please.
Okay, we're friendly.
Just make me look cool.
Okay.
For my daughter, was
Love your daughter.
you know, as a stand-up and being in the stand-up world, and we're going to get back to like your backstory and how you got started and stuff. There's a lot of comics who are just on the fame game and on the recognition game, and I think there was a quote you had years ago which said, which is a very cool, honest quote. And I'm gonna mangle it,
Okay.
but it was something along the lines of like, I didn't have any talent, but you wanted people to know you.
Yeah.
So you kind of created your own enterprise based on the premise of like, well, I can't really do anything. And I'm quoting you. So this is not what
100%.
and you did it. And so what you've created for yourself, and let's just give people some stats here. You have how many YouTube followers? Subscribers?
Total on both channels, like combined, of like 7 million.
7 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over 2 billion views.
Over 2 billion views.
Yeah.
And why do you have 2 channels, first of all?
One's like my main channel for my music and like all that. And then my second channel is my daily life. So I vlog every single day.
You vlog for how many hours?
Every day. From wake up to nighttime, to being in bed with my boyfriend, to like waking up in the morning and like going to the bathroom.
So the camera is on you 24/7? Okay, so this is something that I find very fascinating because the world has obviously changed quite a bit. And I think that is sort of the game now, that people sort of film themselves all day and people are constantly fascinated. I've recently just been hearing a lot about this guy, Ice Poseidon.
Oh, yeah. He's big.
Is that kind of what you do? Is that a similar thing?
Kind of, but no. I mean, we both do YouTube, but not the same content at all.
Yeah, no. Well, all I know about Ice Poseidon is that him and his merry gang of hooligans or whatever, they go around, they just film everything. They do dumb shit. They get in trouble. They fight with women. And then people call them bomb threats.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's not me. Like they do crazy extreme stuff. There's like a group of YouTubers that do crazy extreme stuff, and then there's me who like films myself brushing my teeth. Okay. So I don't do that, but yeah,
that's
similar.
fascinating. Okay, so let's back, because obviously this is a fairly recent phenomenon.
Yes.
Now, how did you get started? First of all, how did you get started as a comedy groupie? How does that happen?
I was a comedy groupie. I was an assistant when I first moved to LA. I was like literally like 18 years old. I had just turned 18, and
from where?
Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Were you like a small town girl, like Don't Stop Believin'?
100%.
Midnight Train. Okay.
100%. I like literally left the day of my graduation, became a stripper here in LA, and then my side hustle was I was an assistant.
Well, let's back up. Okay, you became a. So that's not like a. So you were in Illinois. You weren't a stripper. Were you like a good kid? Were you like a good student?
Yeah, I mean, I quit a lot of schools. I think I quit about 5 high schools. So, I mean, I quit school a lot.
You quit school? I've never heard the expression, people say I dropped out. You're already an entrepreneur. I quit.
Yeah, I quit. Wasn't for me.
And what were your parents thinking when you were quitting schools?
They just thought, like, I think my parents were they were great and also not great, because I think I played victim to everything like the kids are mean to me at the school. I need to drop out. So I always like kind of like manipulated a little bit.
And you were daddy's little girl?
Of course. And my dad was like baller. My dad was like balling. But like when
what did your dad do, by the way?
He had a couple companies that he sold when he was like 40.
Okay.
And he made like so much money. So he was like a baller.
Yeah.
And so he was like taking care of me and stuff like that. But then like when I was like, I'm going to quit school and like become an actress, because, you know, I like.
So that was your dream, to become an actress?
Well, I said that because, once again, I didn't have a talent, but I thought, oh, well, acting doesn't require much talent.
You're right.
You know? So I was just like, I mean, you were on Broadway, right? So it's like anyone can do it.
Well, thank you. Wow. Dig number 2. Yes, it's true.
I have a thing against people on Broadway.
You have a thing? Oh, okay, never mind. We'll get to that maybe later. About your Broadway star. Okay, anyway.
I have a lot. I have a lot of Broadway stars that I get. It's not just one. I mean, there's plenty that I've dished on.
So you were a comedy groupie and a Broadway groupie?
Just a groupie.
Okay, I like it. So you're in Illinois. You're dropping out of schools. You're like, Dad, I don't like the school. They bullied me. Now, were you bullied a lot as a?
Yes.
What for?
Oh, I was still a chunky monkey. I was a chunky monkey back then, but like, I didn't look like as cute as I do now.
Yeah. So kids were just like, hey, chubby or what?
Literally, they'd be like, wow, she got more rolls than a bakery. You look like a man, because I had a mustache too.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mustache is probably worse than the
People thought I looked like a boy because I had a short haircut. I had a little bit of a mustache.
Oh.
Yeah, which is why I overcompensate now for being like extra girly.
Well, yeah, I know that story from a lot of people. So, so you're in a. This is fascinating. So you dropped out. And you finally. Did you ever finish high school?
Yes.
Ish.
I did. I ended up. I don't know how I did it, but I kind of did. I like went to the school for like a month, and they just gave me like a diploma. So I have a diploma.
Okay.
But like I don't know how I even made that.
Okay.
Like it wasn't a real thing. Like I was homeschooled for a year and a half where I did nothing, and then I joined a public school like when I should have been graduating. Like, yeah, you can join and then graduate.
Oh, okay. And was your mom part of the picture too?
Yes, I lived with my mom. She was a single mom. My dad lived in California. He lived in LA. So I was in Illinois. My mom's there, and then like I convinced my dad to let me move out with him when I was 18 to LA. Okay. Then I got another stand-up reference here. I got literally 3 days after high school, I got booked on a show called The Greg Barrett Show.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you know Greg?
Of course. He's famous.
Greg is still like one of my really close friends, and he was the first person I met in LA. And like I went on his show, and then he liked me so much he had me back multiple times. I was probably on his show a dozen times, and then it got canceled.
Was the show like a daytime, like Oprah-ish type of show?
It was a talk show.
And so what were you doing on his show?
I wrote in. I saw it on Craigslist because they were paying $500, and I wrote in on behalf of my brother and my dad saying like Trisha needs a make under, that I was too over the top. Anyways, it was such a stupid, like it was like basically a scam. I just want to be on TV. Yeah. And then, but he ended up liking me so much that he had me come back to do like hosting stuff on the show.
Oh wow.
So I did that until it got canceled, and then when it got canceled is when shit hit the fan, and I had to become a stripper and a hooker and all that stuff.
Okay, now that's now we got to walk through this story a little bit. So the Greg Barrett Show, and he's very popular. He wrote the book. He's Not That Into You, yes. Right? Mm-hmm. So this is after that, and the show was doing okay, and you were hosting, but for $500 a week.
Oh no, I got to join after from it, so I was actually making like $1,200 an episode.
Okay, so that's pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah, you're kind of balling.
Yeah,
you live with your dad, who's a baller.
Yeah,
so baller status across the board right now.
Right.
And then the show goes tits up in a ditch.
Yeah.
And then you become a stripper hooker. That's a pretty extreme jump.
Well, what happened was my dad didn't want me driving up to LA because he actually lived in like Temecula, which is an hour and a half away.
Okay.
He didn't want me driving back and forth. My dad was so protective and like overprotective. He didn't want me driving back and forth to LA. So he's like, "You're not doing the show, whatever." Yeah. And I was like, "Yes, I am. I mean, this is my big break. Like, I'm doing the show." So yeah. I literally just moved out on my own. My dad cut me off, took away my car, my credit cards, all this stuff. Obviously, I didn't care, whatever. Wow. Yeah. So I was like, "It's fine. I'll like make it." So my mom like let me max out her credit cards until she went broke because she didn't have any money. So we both went broke together. And then I found a guy to live with. And then when he kicked me out, that's when I did the stripping.
Okay, so he kicked you. So you were with this guy for how long?
A year.
A year.
Mm-hmm.
And he kicked you out. Was it a bad breakup? Was it like?
Yeah, I think I told you about him. I feel like when we hung out, me and you only hung out one night. But when we did hang out, I feel like I told you all my stuff. Like, I think I told you about this guy. He was a relatively famous actor. Back in the day, I was a star fucker. I always say I like people who are like notable, like they have talent and stuff. I like people who have talent. So like. Yeah. Like if you're a bank accountant, like I don't want to like date you because it's like so boring to me.
Unless you're a really talented accountant.
No, not even then. Not even like a rich like mogul. Like I could never like a businessman.
You like creatives.
Creatives. Yeah. That you know what I like is when people like you go on the street and people recognize you. Like that's what I like.
Okay.
You don't even have to be rich, as we know. The people I've dated who are like D-list celebrities are not rich, but I like when people know them.
Got it.
So yeah. So I dated this guy who was like well known, and he kicked me out, and then I was like, then I made a bunch of YouTube videos about him, and it got in kind of notoriety. But anyways, then I became a stripper, and so funny.
Okay, this is because a lot of people who don't know who you are yet, and I'm still getting to know you. So this is. Let's take this slow. Give me some foreplay.
Yeah.
So you're with this guy, and he's an actor.
He's an actor in a bunch of John Hughes movies.
an actor in a bunch of John Hughes. People
Breakfast Club and 16 Candles.
Breakfast Club and 16 Candles.
Weird Science.
Okay, that narrows it down to one person with 3 full names.
It's okay. I've said his name multiple times, so it really doesn't matter. But
okay,
for
so
the sake of the podcast,
and why did he kick you out?
He
just like
he had so many girlfriends. Oh my god, he had so many like all over the place. Like in LA, he had like 10 girlfriends.
And were you okay with that?
Yeah, because I was like 18, and I was like, oh, he's famous.
And then one day he was like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, like he moved a girl that he like. I don't know for sure if he even had. I think the girl was pregnant, but I don't think he had the baby. I don't know. It was a drama. Anyways, I moved out, and I moved like right next door to him, implied like in this beach area.
Okay, with another guy or on your own?
I moved out on my own.
Moved on. Now, so at this point, you get kicked out, and you're like, I need some dough. Mm-hmm. So to become a stripper in LA, in case some people are listening, and that's what they want to do. I mean, but it's actually a really competitive market, I imagine, to be a stripper in LA, right?
Yes, that's why you need to go to the Valley, because they're all ugly strippers, so you'll definitely get hired. Because I wasn't making it at the body shop over here. I went to audition, and they're like, no.
So what is a stripping audition like?
You literally just go in, like literally you could just walk in on a night it's open and be like, I want to dance here. They're like, okay, go up on stage for a song.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And then they're like, yeah, start now if you want.
Oh, so if they like you right away, they. Mm-hmm. Wow. But you have to come in with your own gear.
Yeah. Just go down Hollywood Boulevard has all the street. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I think I came in like a t-shirt.
So you went to the body shop.
I went to the body shop first, yeah.
And
that was a no-go.
Get on stage. And you're like, took your shirt off.
I came in a t-shirt and denim shorts on stage with like sneakers because I couldn't afford those heels. Those heels are expensive. They were like $200.
You had sneakers.
That's some sneakers.
That's hilarious. So they're looking at you like, okay. And had you done pole work before in your Crunch fitness class or whatever it is?
No, I didn't even know. No, I couldn't afford Crunch. Oh my God. No, I didn't. And I also had like natural boobs, so I had no fake tits. They were kind of like weird. Like I was not cute.
What do you mean they were weird?
I had uneven boobs. One was like an A cup and one was a D cup when I first moved here.
An A cup and a D cup?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was.
And then you just born that way?
Yeah, that was another fucked up thing.
So a mustache, A and D boobs.
And chub. So like if I was chubby and had big boobs in high school, probably would have been fine because big boobs kind of counteract that a little bit. So, but I didn't. I had like one weird A cup and like a huge belly.
Okay. And then you're like, fuck this. I got to go to the Valley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Valley's where it's at. Shout out to Godfathers in Canoga. Yeah, Canoga Park and Van Nuys.
Is that like by like the used car sale and the futon mattress places?
No, what is it by? It's by like, oh no, you know where it is? It's by Sepulveda where all those like little motels are that all the hookers go to.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you were stripping, and how much would that pay in the Valley? Like stripping?
I didn't make a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but I would probably make $500 a night.
I mean, fuck.
It's not bad, but it's not stripper money where you're like $30,000 a night. Like it wasn't that, but it was good.
You know, we're living in different worlds. There's strippers make $30,000 a night.
Oh yeah, like in Atlanta.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, you're balling $500 a night stripping in the Valley, and then somehow this segued into, I don't know if segue is the right word, but into being an escort, to use the.
Oh yeah.
How did that happen?
So I ended up. Once I got my stripper skills up, I ended up going over to 7th Vale, which is here in Hollywood.
At this point, you got your boobs did.
Yes, I got the boobs done. I spent all my money on my boobs. I got the boobs done.
Is that like, Daddy, I need boobs?
No, it's just me. I just did it.
You. So at this point, your dad has cut you off.
Oh, yeah. I haven't even talked to him because we're like pissed at each other.
Okay.
So like, I haven't even talked to him. Like I was just so mad because I was like, he has like mad money. He could just give me and like help me out. You know what I mean? But he didn't. Whatever. So, and then I became a hooker. But also like fascinated me. Like I always love stripper movies. Like I love like Demi Moore and striptease. I'm like, that looks fun.
Yeah.
She got Burt Reynolds. Yeah, Showgirls. Yes. And I was like, that looks glamorous. I want to do that. Like I've always been fascinated by like, especially like hooking and stuff. I've always wanted to like escort and stuff. So I was like, this is great. Yes.
So were you in high school? You're like, one day I'll be like Pretty Woman.
Yes. I was like, I'm going to do Hooters, stripping, escorting, Playboy. That was like the level of where I wanted to go.
Okay. So so you started escorting. What was the first time that it came up from the strip club? Like a guy was like, hey, I'll pay you to come home with me?
No, it was a girl. It was a stripper that like, she had her own, like Craigslist. She'd advertise. I think it was called like Crystal's Beauties or something. She'd advertise on Craigslist and she was a stripper. So she'd get all the girls.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And there was this one guy and they were
but your first experience with that, it must have been like a big moment. I imagine the first time you're like, I'm actually now a prostitute. Right?
I was just so high all the time. I never even remember.
So what were you high on?
Oh, I love Coke. I was real skinny. I got real skinny. So I was just drinking Coke all the time because it curbed my appetite.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm sure stripping and Coke kind of go together.
Oh, it was great.
Long hours.
Yes.
It was great. You have such a positive attitude about stuff that sounds very, very dark.
I was excited about it. I was like, look at me. I'm a stripper in Hollywood doing coke.
Yeah.
With a Prada bag, you know?
You're like an 80s movie come to life. And, okay, so there must have been a moment. So you're hooking for a while. You must have had some scary moments with that. At least some story that was like awful.
I have the craziest stories about like big time celebrities that like try to shoot me in my head. And like if I ever came like public, like
can you name 3 movies they were in so we can narrow it down?
Oh my God, no. This person I feel like would actually kill me and nobody would even know.
I know, Michael Madsen. Anyway, moving on.
No. Oh my God, that guy seems like a psycho. I do know him, but I've never escorted for him.
Okay.
He hates me now, but
okay. So so when you were hooking, so give me the story of like the first celebrity. You don't have to say his name, obviously. Just give lots of clues. They would see you. How would you even get to? I've never look. I'm a little bit of a nerd. I'm not. How do people meet hookers? Like through Craigslist?
Through that girl. So I guess there's like secret agencies.
She's like a
people
Heidi
know.
Fleiss type of person. She's a madame.
Yeah, and I guess there's a ton of them. Like a ton of those kind of people out there. Then they just go to those people.
So they call up the person and they go, "Hey, meet this guy at this hotel."
Yes. I went to their houses.
Oh, you went to their houses?
Yeah. And it was a lot of celebrities, which I loved. So I was stoked.
You go like fancy houses. You'd show up like...
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. There'd be like people on like big time TV shows that have like crappy little houses.
Yeah.
Celebrities don't make that much money, actually. I think they spend it all.
Yeah. Hi. This is my neighbor, Mia Mars.
Want any weed? I'm good.
No, we're good. This is Trisha Paytas.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Oh, thank you. I am. For now.
Okay, this is very fascinating. I feel like you were like the world of Hollywood I've never seen.
Really?
Yeah.
You're like 40s. You should have seen this at some point.
Why'd you say my age right now on the podcast?
Oh, do people not know that? You have a daughter that's like 20.
I'm 39. No, she's not 20.
How old is
she's in
she?
her teens.
She is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so back to you.
Okay. I love talking about you. Are you still like a sober person?
Sober in terms of what?
When we hung out, I remember you said you don't drink or do drugs.
You know what? I'll tell you something. I have done Ambien.
Done it?
I don't mean like I've done it, but like I was doing Ambien for a while, and then I started listening to a lot of people who were like, "Hey, you got to do indica." So I've sort of been putting my feet into the weed world.
My boyfriend does that to sleep. He does the indica.
Yeah, and it's
Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Hi, I know this is when you have an outdoor podcast. People just randomly come by.
This is the most terrifying thing. There's like a wood gate behind you and people just popping out. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, so back to stripping and hooking.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me one good story without naming names that will be interesting for the listeners.
Oh my God, this is easy. This is a really easy one. He's huge, like a big deal, still to this day, like big time comedian in a bunch of movies in the 90s. So I'll just leave it at that. But huge comedian. I don't even know if he did stand up, but he definitely was a comedy guy. And I was so excited. He doesn't follow like anyone on Twitter, but he followed me. Like he literally follows like 5 people, I think. And like he followed me and he DM'd me, and I was like shook. I was like, what the heck? And he said that he's seen my YouTube videos or something, because I did a video about him one time. And I was like,
around what year is this?
This is like 2010.
2010. So at this point, you've already created your YouTube kind of. Okay, we'll backtrack to that, but let's keep going.
I was doing YouTube when I was stripping. I was doing YouTube at 17, and I'm 30 now.
Oh, wow.
So I've been doing it like a long time. But anyways, I wasn't making money off it. But yeah, I was doing YouTube, and he had seen my videos, and my videos, anyways, so I was doing like, okay, that's giving too many hints. But he saw a video that I did that related to him in some way, and he said we should go hang out, and I said okay. I was like, so anyways, to make a long story short, he asked me to go to Chuck E. Cheese with him, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Chuck E. Cheese.
He's older. He's like, he's probably like 55 now.
Oh, he's 55. That's why Chuck E. Cheese. Now it makes sense. What?
He was a creep, maybe. I think. Well, let me get to the story. So then we'd go to Chuck E. Cheese, and he was famous on a whole other level, like probably the most famous person I've been with, which I'm not with like Ben Affleck or Matt Damon, those people. So this was like a big deal. This was like, so we went to Chuck E. Cheese, and he would tell people that I was his daughter, and then he would like squeeze my tits like while he was telling people why we were like getting tokens or like getting tickets or like cashing our tickets in or something. So it was really weird. And then so anyways,
that's why he wanted you to go to Chuck E. Cheese, so he could play this little game out.
Yes. And then
okay.
And then we hooked up, and he was weird, kind of weird, whatever. And he was, I think, sober too. I don't think he did any drugs. But then the craziest story then happened. We hung out probably 3 times. And like the 4th time we hung out, we were in his house. He lives in Malibu. It was like a most gorgeous house I've ever seen to this day. It was so nice. And he just took a gun out and started shooting bullets around my head. And I was like running across the room and he kept like, but he was a good shot, meaning he was going so close to me without hitting me.
This is absolutely, now there are drugs involved, I'm imagining.
No drugs on his end. My end for sure.
So he's sober and he pulls out a gun and he goes, hey, Trisha, bang.
Yes.
And you start running around, and he's kind of like making you dance around with the gun.
Yes, as I'm trying to get out the door, which has like 5,000 locks on it, he's literally shooting. I tell the story to literally everyone, and people like don't believe me. Like they don't believe me, and it's like literally shot like a circle around my head.
Like in a cartoon.
Yes.
Like a Yosemite Sam Bugs Bunny cartoon. Okay.
Yes.
So
just it was the craziest thing.
And was he doing it because he thought it was funny, obviously, or was he mad at you?
He was laughing. Yeah.
So he's a crazy person.
Yes.
And he's still famous.
He's massive.
He's massive.
But he's crazy in the media. But he's coming back now. But he was crazy. That's the last hint I get. He was a little crazy in the media.
And now he's coming. Okay, good.
Yeah.
We won't get.
Yeah. But because I'll actually get killed by him. I'm sure. I feel like he might. He doesn't look scary. He doesn't seem scary. But I think he's a crazy. He's actually crazy. Yeah.
Well, obviously he's actually. He shot circles right there. You're like, he might be crazy. I think for sure he's crazy.
I know. This is my life.
Oh my God! So that's pretty amazing. So that was now after that happened, and this wasn't an escort story. This was a story of a guy who just wanted to hook up.
Right. The crazy of the escorting story. I don't really have 2 crazy ones because they're all pretty normal. Everyone who gets escorts are high as well. They're all like on drugs when you see them. So
and you just roll over, and they kind of.
Yeah, sometimes they don't even want to have sex. They just like have you come over and like you have sex with all the other escorts there, and they just like pass out.
Oh, so there's a bunch of people. With
usually,
escorts.
I mean, one-on-one. No, I wouldn't say usually. I would say maybe like 10% of the time there's other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you ever think about doing porn at this point? Did you do porn?
Oh, that's so funny. I love the idea of porn, and I love it. Like I'm on Pornhub. I'm trying to get
a good combination of escorting and your.
I would have loved to have done
exhibitions.
porn. I just thought it was so cheap. I remember going to like people offering it to me, and I just remember like, which is a lot, $1,000 for like a day, which I guess is a lot in the porn world, but for me that didn't seem like a lot. I was like, and also I don't know. It never interested me because I don't think I look that hot like having sex. Like I'm actually pretty insecure. Like I love having sex. I love being naked, but like I've made sex tapes and I'm like, ooh, I don't like the way I look. And I never liked the way I look. Even when I was 90 pounds, I was like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't like it. Okay. I don't think sex is cute. I don't watch porn. I'm not a porn person. I don't think sex looks, to me, that's like disgusting to watch.
Interesting. Okay.
Just because I hate the way sex looks. But
that's crazy. So let's go back to so you're stripping, you start escorting. And while you're escorting, you started doing the YouTube stuff.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Now, when was the moment where this actually became a commodified thing, where all of a sudden you were getting attention that you're like, wait, I can actually make money from this?
Well, I found out I could make money. There's like the biggest YouTuber right now is named Shane Dawson, and I met him in 2011, and he was my best friend. But when I met him off Alley Casting. He was looking for strippers for his video, and he paid $100 a day. And then he lived in like this huge house. He was my age, and I was like, "What the heck do you do?" And he's like, "YouTube." And I was like, "I have YouTube videos." I had like 200 videos out at that point.
And how many views at this point had you had?
Nothing, like 3,000 views.
3,000
but you could still monetize them, and I was still making
what were these videos at this point? Early on,
just me talking in my like house.
Simple stuff like this is me brushing my teeth, feeding my cat.
Yeah, like my first 50 videos were like dedicated to meeting Quentin Tarantino. I wanted to meet Quentin Tarantino, and then I got to like Eli Roth saw them, and he was like, and those two are cool guys that I like never escort for, and they're like so sick, and they're always so sweet to me, so I can say their names because they're awesome. But like Eli Roth saw my videos when I was like 18, and they were all about Quentin Tarantino, and he was like, "You need to come to this thing where Quentin's going to be at." Yeah,
how do you even get to your videos?
He was being on MySpace. He loved MySpace.
Okay,
so he found me. I don't really know. And then he saw my videos and he invited me to Quentin's theater. He owns a movie theater here in LA. And I just remember, and he like literally, Eli saw me, like took me by the hand, introduced me to Quentin, and they were always been so cool to me ever since. But yeah, my first videos. And then I started making videos toward other people so I can meet other celebrities because here I am, little trying starfucker, trying to be like an actress, or I don't know what the fuck I was trying to do. But
yeah. Now, you have done acting though, right? Some stuff?
I mean, like a Modern Family, like, like bit parts.
That's great though, because now it's kind of like you're like a cult of personality. You're like Trisha Paytas. So when you're cast something, your cast says Trisha Paytas. I imagine. Now I remember when the night that we met or hung out, whatever. I mentioned something about like Angeline because you had like a pink Jeep or something.
I have a pink G-Wagon. I still have the pink G-Wagon.
And you were like, yeah, I want to be just like her.
Mm-hmm. Did you see my billboards? I had some billboards up.
You have billboards?
Yeah, they're up in LA. There was one right on Sunset in La Brea, but it just got taken down.
What was the billboard? I didn't see it.
Just me. Just said Trisha Paytas.
Just like Angeline. Okay, so people who don't know, and imagine if you don't live in LA, you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too inside baseball with this. So, back in the 90s up until the early 2000s, and she's still around.
Oh yeah, she drives her pink Corvette.
Her name's Angeline, and I don't know what her story is. Maybe you can tell us the Angeline story. But she would have billboards all over LA. There was just her like posing in a bikini, and she must have been easily 50s when I saw these billboards. I mean, she looked good, but she was like, in her 50s on a billboard, just with her name and like a number to a service or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like I'm in school or something. I think I'm just out of school, driving around like, what the fuck is up with this town? And then you would see her. I'd go to Ralph's. Her pink. She had a pink Corvette.
Mm-hmm.
And it always struck me as, and don't take this the wrong way, but as an actor in graduate school who wants to be a theater actor and be on Broadway and smoking in the rain like James Dean, it was what was wrong with the entertainment industry. Yes. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is like, you can have money and get. And I just didn't understand what it was about. And the fact that you like that, and you're obviously very smart, and you've accomplished a lot of stuff right now, I'm still kind of curious, like, what about that is intriguing to you or interesting? Like, it's just the idea of someone making herself famous through will?
Yeah, my inspiration was Anna Nicole Smith. So, like, when I was a kid, her reality show was on, and I was, like, in maybe middle school, high school, and her show was on, and I was like, this is it. She was a chunky girl, but look hot, and she was, like, having, like, tons of sex. She had all this money. She married an old man. Like, she was, like, famous. She didn't do anything, but she was in, like, the Naked Gun movies, and she, like, wasn't good, but she got to do all this cool shit.
Yeah.
Just being herself, and I was like, oh, like, that's what I need to do. And, like, I guess Angelina is kind of, like, the same way, but, like, on a bigger scale was Anna, so I was just like, that's what I need to do. Even, like, someone like Pamela Anderson, who's, like, not the best actress, I was like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah, and have you met all these people? Have you met Angeline? And
No.
Does she hate you? Are you like the competition
I
to
think
her?
so. Like, even when I met Pam, she was very, like, standoffish.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because don't you think at one point people are like, okay, I'm old, I'm passing the torch?
No, they're like the opposite. Tommy Lee and I had huge beef earlier this year because he called me Spamela Anderson. Yeah,
he called you Spamela Anderson.
Yeah, he thought I was like this, like trying to be this like knockoff of Pam or something like that. Because I did like tribute photos to them, and I was just like, this old grumpy man is coming after me. He went off on social media about me like this. He called me like a bitch. He called me like all these names. He was
Why?
crazy.
Just because?
Because I was like recreating photos and I was like hotter than them, and they were just like, oh shit, we're old. This sucks.
Yeah. Did you get in a Twitter war with him?
Yes, I think it was his girlfriend. His girlfriend's like, oh my god, I'm getting in so much trouble. His girlfriend's like a social media person, but I don't have any beef with them. But I
By
think
the way,
she was.
we have a very small following right now, so you won't get in trouble. Say whatever you want until you blow this up on your channel.
No, I know. No, and I
obviously it was out on social media, so you can't get in trouble.
Yeah, they made it such a big deal. Like, I don't even know what I did. I literally just made these photos earlier this year with my boyfriend, like just recreating like Pam and Tommy photos,
which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, it was actually like trying to be nice. Like, I love them. I loved Pam and Tommy, but I think it was the new girlfriend that was getting a little like jolly.
Oh, that makes sense.
She's like, this was an abuse. Yeah, she's like, this was an abusive relationship, and you're glorifying it. I'm like, literally, Kim Kardashian dressed up as Pam and Tommy with her little like gay best friend this year. So I was like, everyone does this. Like, it's not a. Anyways, it was weird. They came after me, and then me, I have like a loud mouth, but now I've like toned down a lot because I'm trying not to be so dramatic.
Did you have a good zinger?
Against
Tommy Lee?
No, I was playing the opposite card.
Okay.
I was being the sweet card. I was like, wow, this was like supposed to be a tribute. Like, I'm a huge fan. I don't know where this is coming from. Like, I'm so sorry if I was being so nice. And they kept like attacking me, like both of them, like him and his girlfriend. And they kept like calling me names, calling me a bitch, calling me like disgusting, like all this stuff. I was just like, oh. I'm like, and then so I was going on Instagram story, and then like she was going on Instagram story. It was so stupid. It was so stupid. I'm fucking 30 years old. I'm like, what am I doing? He's 60, so what is that? You know what I mean? Like, he's even weirder for doing that.
So one of the things that my daughter said. I said, hey, I'm interviewing Trisha. And she said, well, be nice because Trisha's very sensitive.
True. Aw.
Right?
That is
true.
And
my daughter's very sensitive too. So I guess one of the
her.
things I want to ask about that is, well, first of all, I want to backtrack a little bit because you were doing this stuff and da-da-da. And at some point it blew up. At some point it kind of became this thing. When was that? What was the tipping point?
That was like America's Got Talent catapulted.
I don't know what happened there.
So I went on America's Got Talent as a contestant.
As a singer.
Oh no, I don't know. Oh, my talent was
what was your talent?
It was fast talking. So, okay, this is so funny. Okay, so, back to
talent was fast talking.
Mm-hmm. So talking about like not having any talent, like the one thing on YouTube people constantly were telling me is like, wow, you talk really fast. And I'm like, that's so stupid. But here's the fucking weird thing. So America's Got Talent called me year after year when Piers Morgan was a judge and like, can you come on and like do fast talking? And I was like, I don't know what that even means.
How'd they know you're fast talk? Because on YouTube you'd go blah, 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 blah.
Well, I would read a book and I could read, I think I read 800 words in a minute. And that was like one of my viral videos at the time.
Okay.
So they're like, can you do this on America's Got Talent? And I was like, obviously they're going to make fun of me if I go on for that. But then when Howard Stern was a judge, I was like, okay, I'll do it. Anyways, but from America's Got Talent, Howard Stern talked about me on a show. And then I got Ellen.
Let's talk about America's Got Talent because you're talking too fast right now.
I know. I was trying to get to like, because then I got other shows from
So you got America's Got Talent and you go on and this is televised.
Yes.
And you were like, you walk out there and blah, blah, and they're staring at you and they're like, they have no idea who you are, but they probably do, really?
I had a whole package. Like, you know how some contestants get like a full package story before your audition? Like, they did a whole package about me.
Oh, they did background story. Was your dad involved with this?
No.
They usually go the parents and no,
because I wasn't like, obviously I was like a joke act. I wasn't like a
for sure.
I wasn't like the home run like this girl's so talented. They made it funny. So I went on because I did love Howard Stern, and I went on saying like I'm literally here just doing Howard Stern because my goal was, because again back to the Pam Anderson, Anna, they were always on Howard Stern and he loved porn stars. I'm like, okay, like this is my in.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have, like, ideally my career would be like a Howard Stern or Wendy Williams. Like I fucking love them. So I was like, oh, maybe this is my. Are we still going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just checking.
Idea. So I was like, maybe this could be. I was always trying to get an in somewhere. So I thought maybe this is my in. I was like 23 or something at the time, and so I just said how much I loved Howard Stern, blah blah. So they made it all about Howard Stern, and then at the end of my like little segment, Howard Stern like came up and like danced with me on stage and stuff like that, and like he said like he like made fun of me for being crazy. He's like, I'll see you like in the mental institution or something. I was like, okay, whatever. So but it was funny, and I made it funny because I'm funny.
You're funny.
I am funny.
So what did you do on stage? You were like, I'm going to talk fast.
I think I like made my own rap because originally they wanted me to rap, and I can definitely do that. I had a Busta Rhymes video go viral, but they couldn't get rights to that song. So I was like, okay. So they're like, can you write your own? I was like, what the fuck? No. But I did, and it was awful. Like the minute I went on stage, like, oh, by the way, we put background music, because originally it was just like a spoken word thing I was doing fast.
Oh, so they didn't tell you to do that. Yeah. They wanted to make you look like a clown.
Yeah. But you know what? No one can make me look like a clown because I can make any situation like flawless in my favor. So I was like, fuck this shit. So as soon as it all happened, I got buzzed or whatever, and everyone was being like a little bitch, and I like fucking turned it around, and everyone like loved me, and Howard Stern came on stage and was like,
oh wow.
Yeah, and then he talked about me on a show the next day, and like after that he talked about me, and he compared me to Pamela Anderson. He's like, so it was nice. It was great.
That's pretty amazing. And did you get to go on his show ever?
I didn't go on his show, but right from America's Got Talent, I got calls from like Ellen. I went on Jay Leno. I went on Guinness World Records. I went on like a bunch of like shows for Guinness World Records, promoting them on True TV with Dan Cortese.
What, did you have the Guinness World Record for speed talking?
They wanted me, so I went on the show to break it, and I did break it, but I didn't enunciate enough, so I didn't get the record.
Oh, so you broke it, but then they had judges like look over it and they're like, no.
But I still got to do all the promo for them. Like, it was so weird. Like, I didn't break the record, but me and the host went around and did like Good Morning America. We did all the shows. So I was going like on all these TV shows.
Yeah.
And then I got like, it went from like maybe 15,000 subscribers to like from Howard, from all that stuff in that year, the Eminem music video, like all that stuff I like probably did in a year, and I got probably 1 million followers from all of it.
1 million. And what year is this?
Maybe 2010.
2010. Okay.
2011.
So at this point, at this point, you're getting money, obviously, for doing this.
No, from YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I was probably making like 8,000, which is good for most people. But
8,000 a what?
$8,000 a month.
Okay. Yeah. That's
For me, it was great.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. And then, now, what? One thing that I'm really curious about is the whole live streaming thing, right? Is that something you're a part of?
Not anymore, because people get swatted these days. Don't live stream.
Swatted.
People will call like the
SWAT.
call
the SWAT team.
Yeah, if they know you're home.
Tell people what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a couple things happen when you live stream. One, they can SWAT you, where they call like a SWAT team to like literally come to your house and SWAT
just
you.
to fuck with you.
Yes,
Just
and they have
trolls.
guns. Yes, all this stuff. And then some other people will know when you get off your live stream, knowing you're home. And I've heard this. This was a story on YouTube. A couple people happened. People will wait for you to like leave your house, then come in and like hold you at gunpoint. And like I don't. There's been crazy stories.
What?
Yeah, because
How do people know where you live?
Anyone can find out anything.
Oh my God.
People find out anything, and I have like security at my house and stuff too, and people can still find out anything. So I stopped it because I lived in a huge house, and like at one point, and people were doing that all the time when I live streamed. But
so by all the time they would swat you like dozens of times.
Yeah, I never got swatted. I got, what was it? I got 5150, where they would like call cops and say, this girl's gonna kill herself. She's talking about it online, and I never was talking about that. So police would show up to my house at like, I would end a stream at like 3 a.m. and at like 4 o'clock in the morning, police would come and like surround my house and like flash their lights in there, and yeah, it was crazy. I was so scared. So and then people broke in all the time too. They know I was home, so they would like break in and be on my stream, and it was crazy.
Oh my, well that sounds okay. So you were on your stream and someone broke in and got on your screen.
Mm-hmm. And people were freaking out. They thought it was like a bit. Like they thought.
So let's tell that story, because that is crazy to me. You're at your home. You're live streaming. It's late at night, right?
Yes.
And somebody, we don't know how, found out where you lived. You still don't know how they found out, right?
No, I think my house was on Zillow or something. Like they could see the layout, kind of like the staircase, or I don't know.
So just people with no time, no job. All the time and no job. They just find, and they, by breaking in like through a window, through a door,
just crashed through I had a window. They just broke through it.
So these are crazy
people. I've had so many break-ins at my house. I lived there for 7 months, and I had probably 20 break-ins.
Trisha, this is like really remarkable.
It's
and
so
you're
scary.
Like, this is cute, but I mean, it's horrifying. Did anyone ever try to, rob you or?
Yeah.
Hurt you?
Yeah. I got robbed a lot. Never got hurt. No. Thank God, because that's my biggest fear. Yeah. I just did a tour, and my biggest fear was doing like meet and greets for so long, because I'm like, that stuff scares me. But
of course. Wow, that's really fascinating. So you stopped the live streaming, and the YouTube is still blowing up and blowing up and blowing up, and it continues to blow up. But you YouTube how many hours a day? You YouTube
every day. All hours of the day. Everything we do. So
I'm a little confused about it, because doesn't YouTube have a certain amount of time that you can put on?
They're hour-long videos, so I edit them down.
Okay, hour-long videos. Okay, and you and you're also sensitive, like my daughter said.
Yes, very
So
sensitive.
what about all the YouTube trolls and the comments and shit like that? Was there a point where it was really affecting you and it hurt you and you got over it? Because I know for me, like as a comic, first of all, MySpace was the birth of the troll, right? So, and I would get trolled really hard, and people would threaten, I'll go to your comedy show, I'll kick your fucking ass, whatever it was. And then, so I kind of got used to it a little bit, the trolling situation. And then when I started doing stand-up and videos would come out, and people just say, your thighs are fat, or, wow, this guy's ugly. And then there's also like, the unfunny shit. And as much as I'm like, okay, I'm steel to this stuff because I'm a comic, it would still affect me, and I would still get hurt. And
really?
Yeah, and even recently, I did this. There was an Instagram from Laugh Factory that was just about vegans, and it was just like a simple thing of like how vegan food is bad. It's the dumbest joke. It's like cauliflower steak tastes like cardboard or something like that, and not even like a joke I do anymore. And people, like the vegan community, went after me, and they're like, "You're a piece of shit. You're not funny. Quit." And I'm like, I'm cool, but like deep down, I'm like,
it bother you?
It would bother me. So it might.
That's
and if
so
you're a sensitive person, like my daughter says, like, how did you get past that point? Because there must have been a point where it was hurting, and then you were able to figure out in your head how to get around it.
No, I'm sensitive in real life. Like I think she's probably talking about, because like a lot of my videos used to be like crying videos, like if people hurt me, like boyfriends, like cheating and those kind of things, like hurt me a lot. Like if someone cheats, or like if it's like my real life that I'm really sensitive to. Like I don't like drama in my real life. I literally don't care about comments. I've never.
Was that always the case?
Always. Because I got bullied so much in high school. Like there was literally nothing anyone could say that like I didn't hear 5,000 times a day when I was in school. You know what I mean? Like it was always in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm gross. I'm disgusting. Like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? That was like the main comments and stuff like that. So, oh, you're a slut. You're this. And I take that as a compliment. I was like, thanks. I do bang a lot of guys. Thank you.
Well, there must have been something along the way from the YouTuber, the streamers that did hurt you, that kind of made you go, or maybe, was there anything that made you kind of change your approach or think about things differently? Or maybe a comment or something from YouTube that actually affected you in some way, maybe in a good way.
I think in a good way. I really don't take comments to heart. Like the thing that bothers me, it doesn't even bother me. Sometimes like comments about like nothing actually bothers me. Like no comments bother me. It's always like real life stuff. Like guys are the only thing that's like ever like hurt me and stuff like that. Like, but other than that, like, or my family, I've had like family issues and stuff like that. But comments just don't, to me they're like not real people. And like it goes the opposite way. Like during my tour this summer, I met like real people who like love me, and I was like so like mind blown. I was like, whoa, there's like real people. Yeah.
Wow.
And like even when people come up to me, like your daughter and her friends came up to me, I was like so shocked. I remember even telling her, I was like, oh, Do you know me? Like, I thought she was coming up to me because she thought she knew I knew you.
Okay, well, let's tell the story. So, so where are you? What restaurant?
Ooh, we were bougie. We're Nobu in Malibu.
Nobu in Malibu.
Yeah, what was she doing there? She was so bougie.
My daughter's not bougie at all. My daughter, she went to Malibu High School. She graduated Malibu High School, so she lived around there.
Was she eating there? That's so expensive.
I think she had some friends who were eating around there.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't really her price point. But,
she just came up to our table.
So my daughter or my daughter's friend?
Your daughter. She came with like her two friends.
Okay.
There was
she came
three
to
of
your
them.
table and she said hi?
Yeah. She goes, her friend said hi. Her friend's like, hi. And she's kind of like in the background.
Yeah.
And this was like 2 months after we hung out. Like we hung out one time and I was just like, so this was like 2 months later. So I thought, oh, she's like coming up to me because like, I think I might have talked about you briefly, but like not your name kind of just, and I was like, oh, she probably just knows because like people, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, like that's so crazy. And I'm like, yeah, like I know your dad. Like I'm like friends with him. And she was just like, what? And she was like confused. And then like, I think she was confused. And then I was really confused. And then my sister's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm like, what? And then I didn't realize that they like watched my videos. And then
that's crazy.
It was all awkward.
Well,
but
thank you for that because it was a one moment where my daughter thought it was cool.
Yeah. And I literally said to my sister, like, that's Bill Dawes' daughter. Because we watched you like years prior. Like, oh my God, probably when I was 18, my sister and I watched you like at like some like 24-hour Laugh Factory thing or something.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah. And we thought you were so funny. And then like I started watching your stand-up, which is still funny, but I wasn't like, oh wow, he's amazing. But and then I got to know you as a person.
No, he's okay.
Even when we hung out, I was like disappointed.
Thank you.
Right, you were too. I could sense it. Like it was awkward. Our hangout was the most awkward thing.
It was very friendly.
No, it was a really awkward because I remember I did like a story time after because like it wasn't even bad. Like there was nothing to say bad about it. It was just like the whole thing was just awkward. Like the talking was awkward. The stories were awkward. Everything was awkward.
Yes.
And you were like, I don't drink, and like this is weird, and the whole thing was weird. It was like I felt like you were on like To Catch a Predator or something. You came into the house like this is weird. I'm like, what?
I looked around for cameras.
You did. You were so weird. You came at like midnight. It was weird. It was
and now
weird.
we're friends. Fist bump. Okay.
I don't know if we're friends.
Moving on. Okay.
You're so uncomfortable. It was yeah.
Not everyone has a story that they can put on full display. I'm a little okay.
Just know that like I'm a fan. Like obviously I wouldn't be here because like you're funny. I do think you're funny.
Right. So, but I did want to talk to you about relationships because now you have a boyfriend. Is he a fiance or is he a husband?
Oh, I wish. No, he's a boyfriend.
How long have you been with him?
We'll have a year next month. We've been together like a year and a half, but like officially a year.
Now, is this so? In the course of your YouTube sort of fame, how many relationships have you been through with this? Because that must be very difficult for relationships. I imagine most guys would be like, I can't handle this.
Yeah, most people they're either want to keep me a secret because they're fucking cheaters, or they want to like use me and like be on my channel like every second they can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've only had like 3 serious relationships.
I think I do remember because, and it made me feel sad in my heart. I think you went through a really bad breakup right before your most recent boyfriend, and I think I saw you crying. I was like, I can't watch this, and I don't know who the guy was, but I guess he
I was crying in front of you.
No, but it was on a video.
Oh yeah.
So it felt like it was in front of me. But
yeah, that was my. No, you know who it is. It was my gay boyfriend who danced for Cher. Remember? And you said, oh, James dances for Cher too.
Oh, wait, you had a gay boyfriend. Okay, he was your boyfriend, and then
that turned out to be gay or bi.
Gay. So how did you? Now the LGBT community is going to come after me. So how did you? How did that? So you were with him for how long?
A year.
A year.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you find out he was gay?
I found out because like we were together every night, and like the one night we weren't together for a year, he was like out at a gay club like making out with a guy, and people were like Snapchatting him because he was on my channel every day.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So at that point, he must have wanted to come out, obviously, or he must have wanted you to know.
He still denies it.
He denies being gay.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw these Snapchats of him kissing another guy.
It was like him. It was blurry, but it was him. But also, he's like, I didn't kiss him. Like we were just dancing. I was drunk and we were having fun. And he still denies it.
Are you friends with him?
Yeah. He's cool.
He's cool.
I mean, we're not friends with him, but we did a video earlier this year, so we're cool. Like me and my boyfriend did a video, like who knows me better, my ex-boyfriend versus my boyfriend. So we're fine.
That's kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah.
So your new boyfriend, Jason, who I've never met, he seems like a very.
You
nice
don't
guy.
know him?
I don't know Jason. No.
He did the comedy circuit. He was on Last Comic Standing. He was like a semifinalist.
Oh, very cool.
I'm surprised you don't know him.
How did you in this crazy hurly-burly world where you're live streaming, getting broken, and all this YouTube trolls and all this shit? This guy, he's already a YouTube kind of personality, right?
He was big on Vine. Do you remember
what's his
Vine?
name?
Jason Nash.
Jason Nash.
Yeah.
People, because I'll assume nobody knows anything.
Oh, right. Jason Nash. He was big on Vine, like a really big deal.
Okay, so how did you meet him?
YouTube. He's a big vlogger. He vlogs with this guy named David Dobrik, who's like a big vlogger, and there was a vlog where he was like single. He was married for like 10 years, divorced for like, and he's single for like 3 years. And he always complained about couldn't find a girlfriend. So someone just like a person that watched me said to him like, oh my God, you should, on his video was like, you should date Trisha Paytas. They showed it on my Instagram. Like she loves like old guys and like you guys would be perfect.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah. And then
we
we
kind of set up.
Yeah, we were set up and then we went on a date for a vlog. And I liked him.
Did he approach you? Did you approach him?
He did the video first and then people were like, date Jason Natchez. Like all these people were like tweeting me.
So you're getting your fans to kind of like push you guys together.
Yeah,
That's
and then I was like, yeah, I'm down because I was all miserable and depressed. This was like last summer.
This is after the gay guy rage?
Yeah, this was like right. Yeah. This was right. This was like 6 months later. So
okay.
So then we went on a date for his video for his YouTube channel, and
that is, by the way, just the idea. We went on a date for his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
Literally just for his channel.
Yeah, and so they filmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where was the date?
The Grove.
The Grove.
Yeah.
Okay, you're walking around.
Yeah.
And did you feel right away like there was chemistry?
Yeah, we had sex in like 45 minutes of meeting each other.
Was that on YouTube?
I talk about it and he hates it. He's like you. He's actually real. He's like pretty he's not as private now, but he's pretty private with that kind of stuff. He's very weird with like sex stuff. So like when I say that story, he hates it. But his friend David, our friend David, who has a big YouTube channel, he'll always he'll talk about sex and stuff, and I always bring it up, and Jason like hates that story. But it's like the point of that is like girls don't be afraid to have sex on the first date. People are like, wow, they won't take you seriously.
Yeah,
that's not true.
Yeah,
people do it all the time.
Yeah, for sure. So as you've been, there must have been some challenges with this kind of public romance and public wooing, process. What's the hardest part about forging a relationship in the public eye?
Well, just all the comments. Like literally every comment is like, it's so weird. He gets way more views than me. He has way more popular YouTube friends than me. People are like,
really?
He's using Trish, like, and like that stuff, or like he doesn't like Trish. You can tell he's miserable. Like,
oh wow, people try and break you up all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So does that affect you? Because I know you said it doesn't personally affect you.
I was gonna say that earlier. I was like, it does, but then it doesn't. Because I'll like bring it up to Jason, and he's like, he doesn't read comments. He like couldn't care less about comments.
Yeah.
Like, why do you read that? And so like it doesn't. As long as like I know. But in my head, I'm thinking like, what if he reads that? Because people will say Trisha's toxic and she's manipulative and all this stuff towards Jason, and like. I mean, he's 45 years old. Like, if you didn't want to be with me, you want to be with me. But because comments say it, I'm like, wow, maybe they're seeing something I don't. Because comments also said my ex-boyfriend was gay for a year. And I was like, he's not gay.
Oh, wow.
And then that Snapchat came out. I was like, oh my God. So maybe people see things that I don't sometimes. So that's why I'm like, I kind of take them to heart.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
I can see that.
Yeah. But that's.
Well, the thing about YouTube comments, too, is like sometimes I'll have this one video where I talk about getting head from a tranny in an alley. I'm sorry. From a transgender person in an alley.
You can't say tranny?
No. That's like saying, the N-word.
Really?
I guess so.
Oh.
Well, moving on. So, but I had this video and...
Wait, you were getting head from?
Well,
wow.
I was getting... And I put my hand on the head and then the hair moved. And I was like, oh, please be a girl. That's the joke and the true story. So
is it a true story?
Yes.
So you're kind of gay. Congrats. Welcome to LGBT.
No, it was a wig. A girl wearing a wig. God damn it. A girl wearing a wig. So my point is this. Someone on the comment said, I hate you have a tick. You have a tick in your stand-up where you go, and it's something like Amy Schumer does a lot. It's really annoying. It's like you do a joke and you go, and instead of just hitting the joke, you do this little. And I remembered that, and I took it to heart, and I actually remembered that, and I tried to stop doing it in my stand-up because I found it to be an annoying tick.
Oh.
So sometimes these comments actually are constructive, and it's hard to know the difference between something that's constructive and something that's just going to like rip your heart out.
Yeah.
So
I don't know the difference, to be honest. And also I don't change. Like if someone's like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm not good at changing. So
yeah. So right now you and Jason, you went on a tour, right?
Yeah.
So what's this tour about? That sounds fascinating.
Sing. I told you I have my music.
Okay, I don't know much about your. Come on.
You're like, what's your first channel?
I know, but Trisha, these people don't know. Let's say these are people who are being exposed to you for the first time. These are stand-up comedy fans.
Rewind the podcast at the beginning. Like, what's your channel's about? I'm like, my main channel's for my music.
Okay, so because I knew you're fat. Here you say you have no talent. Meanwhile, you're almost a Guinness World Record holder for fast talking, and you sing.
I mean, I don't sing. It's like auto-tune. It's like Disney Channel star singing.
Can you sing right now acoustically?
It's awful. Oh no, you should hear me live. Like it's not good, but people like my fans like live for it.
Oh my God,
I'm not good.
Can you sing please a little bit? What do you sing on this tour?
I have my own music. I mean, I write my own music. I have like 6 albums. I have like a lot of music out. But
you say you're awful.
I'm like okay, but I'm definitely not good. I'm definitely not good.
Well, I'm a terrible singer.
You
are?
If
I sing, will you sing?
Sing something. Maybe. I'm not gonna promise, but try. I want to hear you.
No, I'm really bad.
Okay, let me hear.
Actually, here's a really embarrassing story. I had an audition for a play because I'm still a theater actor.
I didn't know that about you, but that's cool.
What?
I didn't know you were classically trained. Like you were like, oh,
Yeah.
I trained. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I take back what I said.
I was on Broadway, remember?
Yeah.
And it was about the Little Rock Nine, which is a group of students in Arkansas who basically the first black students. And so it was obviously an African American themed play, and it was going to be very powerful and had a social movement behind it. And I was going to be like the white guy playing every racist senator and governor in the South. And at the end of the audition, they're like, "Can you sing?" And I go, "No." And they're like, "Well, what do you sing karaoke?" So I sang, and I wasn't thinking about the connotations of this, but the only karaoke song I knew was Sebastian the Crab in Little Mermaid.
Oh, I love that. Oh my
cute,
God.
but check this out. He's doing a stereotypical Jamaican accent for a black empowerment play.
Is that true? Is this a true story?
Absolutely true story. So I go up there like, oh, well, I go, the seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. You dream about going, and I'm doing this like.
That's great, by the way.
I feel like I kill it in karaoke.
Yeah, that's really good.
So there's a panel of like 8 black actors and writers looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing, you asshole? And I go through the whole, and I'm getting like less and less confident as I'm going around.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Funny. That's really, you were good. That was good. I think
Needless to say, I did not get the part.
You didn't.
No.
I was going to ask you that.
No, of course
You
not.
didn't get it.
I think I almost got it until I sang Sebastian the Crab for Little Mermaid.
You killed it though. I thought that was great.
So I can kind of do like a character-ish, but I'm a terrible singer.
You're like a mimic.
Yeah, well, yeah. I went to like grad school for acting, and they were just like, "You're a terrible singer. Don't sing."
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I think I can like mimic people. Like I can mimic like Britney Spears, like Kristen Chenoweth. Like I can mimic, but I can't like sing my own voice.
Okay, do a mimic. Come on, I just did Sebastian the Crab. You can do
I
something.
can't. Oh my God! Like because it's so on the spot. I'm like embarrassed. Like I actually don't mind doing it. Like
you YouTube yourself 24/7. You're on the spot.
I don't know. I don't know
What
even know
about
what to
rap?
sing.
Can you rap?
I rap.
Well, what I mean, Britney
like-
Spears. Oops, I did it again. I know you know that song.
I know. I can't do it. I'm so shy now. I'm like, it's so weird. I don't know how you just sang that. Like when people are like sing, it's so awkward.
I can only do it if I'm doing a character, and apparently if it's a like stereotypical Jamaican.
That was good though.
Okay, so you go, and what does Jason do on the tour?
Jason wasn't on tour with me. He went
Oh,
on
he
his own
wasn't.
tour. He has a bigger tour that he does not.
What is his tour about?
He has a big podcast. He has the #1 podcast right now on comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on
bigger than
iTunes.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, they passed him. So David Dobrik is like his co-host. Well,
Okay.
they're co-hosts together. And David is like I think he's the #1 YouTuber right now as far as views goes. I think he gets 300 million views a month or something.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so that's his friend, and they have like a podcast, and they do a podcast tour. So yeah, I think they did pass Joe Rogan.
So podcast tour is just the two of them, and they bring in guests, or how's that
Yeah.
work?
Mm-hmm.
Who are these guests they bring on? Just random.
It's usually like their friends. Like they had like the one I went to was like John Stamos was there, and
Okay.
like just like random people. But people don't even care. Sometimes they have no guests, and it's just them.
And they're just talking about normal, everyday shit.
Yep.
And people in the audience like, I have a question, and they ask
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah, it's called the Views Podcast, and I love it. You guys should go listen to it because they talk about me all the time, which I love because I'm fucking crazy. So everything, but no, it's actually really fun. Yeah, and they just go, basically like YouTube tours are basically like just me. They play big theaters. Mine are probably like 1,000 capacity. Theirs I think are like 5,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so and they sell out. They're really good. So they go on their own tour, and I go on my separate tour.
And do you ever feel, and you're by yourself, you obviously have bodyguards or something, right?
Yeah,
Because you must feel scared at some point, right?
Yeah, they have lots of security, which is like that was my biggest concern.
Yeah. What's now as you went from being a YouTube personality to touring? What's the biggest adjustment? Like, what have you just meeting your fans must be kind of weird.
Yeah, it's so long because like the reason people come to those shows is not because I'm an amazing singer clearly, but because they want to meet you. And so like before the show I meet about 50 VIPs, and then after the show I meet about 500 people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like maybe 1,000 people will come to the show, but you end up meeting like 550 people.
Yeah.
And so you're there for about 4 hours after the show.
Have you ever had an interaction with a fan that kind of like affected you or changed you, or you like formed a friendship with someone?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. And like I don't even say that. Like I think a lot of YouTubers are kind of like, I love my fans, but like mine are just because I share all my like real stories, and I'm like always like telling everything like, oh, I got chlamydia, I got this, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I think they're very open with me. So yeah, I get those stories a lot. I get people who come to like, yeah, people literally are like people have brutal stories, and then when they tell me, I feel like bad about complaining about my life. I'm like, oh God, fuck,
Yeah, I
you know?
know.
Like people, yeah.
So one thing, I don't want to get too deep with this because we talked about this very briefly. A friend of mine said that there was someone that you dated, and that we're not going to name his name, but that they said that your fans basically went after him and made him like quit all social media. So your fans can be pretty rabid. Do you ever feel? You must feel a responsibility towards that.
Yeah, and like I don't feel. It's such a thing because like he's like
you
an
have
awful.
a lot of power. You have literally, is it millions of people?
Yeah,
millions of people that you could say, get them.
Right.
And they will do everything they can. What's the worst thing a fan of yours has done to someone out of like just to defend your honor or something?
Probably that. Probably like trying to run people off social media.
They just on Twitter and
relentless. And then I would say like stop, don't do that because like it really wasn't my intent to like have him be like bullied, I guess. I don't know, whatever the case is.
That's fair.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, like don't attack him, but it was like my fault because I like did the video and stuff, but like I was 24, he was 55, you know what I mean? Like what did he expect? Like a 24-year-old that you're saying like, oh, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna have babies with you, and you're like literally have a wife at like in your house, like you know what I mean? Like and that was like a 2.5-year relationship. It wasn't like a fling, you know what I mean? Like I would go up to Toronto to visit him, I was going to like New York to visit him, I was going all over the place.
But you were kind of a secret sort of lover of his, I guess.
But like not really, because like he did a movie with like a lot of my friends, like a lot of my YouTube friends and stuff, and he'd ask them about me and talk about me and stuff. So like yes and no, but like like I said again, I'm 24. Like I tell this to any guy, like if you're dating a 24-year-old, it's gonna be fucking drama. Like if you're 50 dating a 24-year-old, like what do you expect? So like I don't do that stuff anymore. Really.
Do you regret? Do you have any regrets from that? Do you have any regrets from the fact that things you said or anything you did, you were like, I wish I hadn't done that?
Yeah, I mean, he had like a daughter, and because he like had sex with like transvestites and men and like all this stuff like that were like coming to me, I guess it kind of like outed him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like so maybe, and even with my ex-boyfriend who's gay, not gay, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of outing him because the Snapchat was relatively small, but I like kind of made it such a bigger deal than it was.
Yeah.
So I think like outing people kind of, and then as they have kids, like
for sure,
I try not to like.
Have you made amends with that with him or with yourself, or is that something that you feel like you want to make amends? Is it something that you feel like maybe you'll reach out to him in the future?
Yeah, I feel guilt even when I shouldn't feel guilt. I feel guilt, and I've apologized, but he didn't respond, which is fine. Like I mean, I literally don't care, but yeah,
because
I apologize.
you obviously care about people and you're a sensitive person. You don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah, I really never want to hurt anyone. But like people have like, I mean, he was awful. Like I got chlamydia from this guy. Like that like scars your tubes. Like you can't have babies. Like all this shit. Like he was just awful. And like repeatedly gave it to me because he's like, yeah, I got to clean. I'm good. You're the only person I'm with. And like again, you know what I mean? Like And just like I was so stupid, But yeah, I mean, I guess I feel bad because I don't want to hurt anyone.
Now, one thing back to that. You did say that's the old me.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're a new. What is the new Trisha versus the old Trisha?
Drama free. None of my
Are
YouTube.
you drama free?
Oh yeah, I don't talk about drama. Even if I have drama with like YouTubers, I just don't talk about it anymore. Like I don't talk about drama. I'm very happy with my life.
Very positive. That's
my
good.
situation. I have good like David and Jason and all those people. They're like my.
So is that a big turning point being with Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
because
great.
Jason's so sweet and so loyal, and he always like on the podcast will talk about how much he loves me, and in person he talks about how much like he's great. I love him.
Okay, so I'm gonna close with this with my daughter. Okay. I know she's sensitive. I don't want you to ask her that anything would make her upset. Now I've learned nothing makes you upset.
Sure.
Ask her about commodified authenticity. What is commodified authenticity? Apparently that's a phrase that you coined.
I don't know.
Okay, moving on.
Can I commodified authenticity?
Yeah, she said ask about commodified authenticity.
Is it in quotes?
And then she also asked about how you deal with haters.
Oh.
And any memorable fan interactions experiences.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the last question. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's really weird. I've done a lot of drugs, so maybe I forgot what I said if it was a while ago. I mean, not now, not today I'm sober, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That sucks. That's the last question. I don't know.
You've actually answered probably. You've already answered it.
Okay.
So I do want to ask, so you have an enormous YouTube following. You have a great relationship. Sounds like things are going great now. What's sort of next for you? Like, what's the plan? If you have like a pie in the sky vision of what it is that you want to be, what is it?
Yeah, I think I want to be like Wendy Williams.
So you have your own daytime talk show?
Yeah, I just want to like talk.
Yeah.
And sometimes she has like celebrities on there. She'll like interview sometimes, but like I kind of just want to like talk.
You're just going to get a talk show.
Or Howard Stern. I would love that. I listen to Howard Stern all the time. Me and Jason listen to him all the time in the car. Like I love that. Like I would love to just like talk about like people's like sex lives with them.
But it sounds like that's what you do, right? Do you have guests on your YouTube like channel?
Yeah. Greg was on there. Jamie Kennedy. Like I could stand up on mine too.
Yeah.
Pretty bougie.
Yeah.
They're like big deals to me, and everyone else is like literally
it's
people like
crazy
who?
because if you have 7 million viewers, like on YouTube, you have a bigger platform than a lot of people have on daytime TV. So.
Yeah, I think that's more. I think that's more of just like notoriety thing to be like, I have my own talk show.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I get like 25 million views a month, so it's like obviously it's more than like a TV show. But Howard Stern gets paid $1 billion. That's what I want to get paid. You know what I mean? I don't get paid $1 billion.
I think you're doing all right.
You're doing pretty good.
Trisha, I gotta say, it's really cool that you came by. Is there anything that you want to plug or tell people about, people who maybe don't know you or just getting to know you?
Okay, I got a new album out on iTunes called Chicken Parm and Heartbreak. It just came out in November. I have
And you wrote your own music for this?
Yes, I write my own music. And then I also have a private Snapchat, trishyland.com, 18 plus. I have my YouTube channel. You can go to trishtv.com. I have merch at trishshirts.com. I have, and that's it.
That's it? Can you do one quick rap or a fast talking thing?
Oh, God.
Can you do some fast talking to close it out?
Okay. Let me think of something to do. I hate being on the spot. Let me think of something fast. Like, okay. I'm trying to think of. Hold on. I can't think of something.
I love putting you on the spot.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm like really usually can do it, but I can't. I don't know.
No.
Like what
if
can
you
I
read
say?
Something?
Yeah. What should I read? Like what's a fast song?
I mean, Lose Yourself, Eminem, Rap God, Eminem.
I know Rap God. I have to look at the lyrics. I used to actually memorize Rap God. Let me get it real quick. Sorry guys for the dead air.
It's interesting because I am a terrible rapper and I have very bad diction.
Really?
And I can't speak very fast. So I actually think that what you have, circle back to the beginning of the podcast, you do have a talent because that is actually pretty amazing. I wish I had that talent.
I would love to also plug that I would like to be in Hamilton. That's my dream, is to be on Hamilton on Broadway. So Lin-Manuel Miranda. My boyfriend actually surprised me with $10,000 tickets to Hamilton in Puerto Rico, where Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to perform as Hamilton for the last time in January. Wow. Yeah. So I would love to be in that show. If you are, I met Wayne Brady the other day and I couldn't even speak because he was Aaron Burr in Hamilton. And I was like so excited. Have you seen it?
Of course I've seen it.
You seen Hamilton?
As a matter of fact, Tom McHale told me he will be on my podcast. He directed me on Broadway in a show called Lombardi. Yeah.
I remember Lombardi. I remember when you were in that. That was sick. Okay. Here goes. Where's that? That's the verse I want because that's the verse I know. You assuming I'm a human. What I got? Okay, hold on. Let me get it again. I know it's here somewhere. Why is this such a long song?
Do any women rap in Hamilton?
No. Yeah.
Oh, they do?
The girls do, but I want to play a guy part. But the girl does. So she's the one girl's like, so this is what it feels like to match with someone at the level. What the hell is you catch? It's the feeling of freedom, seeing the lights, been franking with the key and a kite. You see it, right? The conversation's not 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Everything is in total agreement. It's a dream and it's a bit of a stance, a bit of a posture, it's a bit of a chance. He's a bit of a flirt, but I'm gonna give him a chance. I asked him about his family. Did you see there's a chance of just against the pennies lying by the seat of pants? Handsome boy, does he know what peach was? But like also like Lafayette, the guy who plays him, David Diggs, he's like a really good rapper. He did the Lafayette I forgot the words. I don't know why I'm forgetting everything. I really want to do this one. I just don't know where the freaking start is. So I don't know. Maybe I can't do it. Sorry. Like I know it's like dead air, but
no, it's fine.
Oh, here it is. Hey, Fab, I'm gonna kill you. Like so much just supersonic speed. Here goes. Samalama Dumalama, you assume I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I made a rubber so that anything you say is ricocheting off me and it'll glue to you. I'm devastating more than ever, demonstrating how to give a motherfucking audience feeling like everything, never fading. And I know the haters are forever waiting for the day they can say they fell off. They celebrate because I know they begin motivated. I make elevating music. You make elevating music. Oh, he's too mainstream. Well, that's what they do. They get jealous. They confuse it. It's not hip hop. It's pop because I found a hell way to fuse it with rock, shack rap, with doc. Throw on, lose yourself, and make you lose it. I don't know how to make songs like that. I don't know what words to use. Anyways, that was it.
Trisha Paytas, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. Thank you so much for coming out. That is Bill Dawes and Trisha Paytas with the Afterlaugh signing off.
Woo!
It's the Afterlaugh. Welcome to the Afterlaugh, Afterlaugh. Afterlaugh, man. Go ahead, pull up a chair.